Welcome to Chinnyrant 2, the shoddy sister channel of Chinnyrant. And today I've got a problem because I've had a comment on a video from over 6 years ago, October 2015. And it's episode 85, I think it was, Chubby Gristle. Remember Chubby Gristle, the appalling platformer game with 20 screens that cost, coincidentally, £20. So that's a quid a screen. And it plays, much worse than pretty much any contemporary platformer. Or indeed, platformers from years and years before. But I didn't get round to reviewing the Amiga version because it wouldn't run on my 1200 at the time. So now I've got 600. Let's have a look at Chubby Gristle. I'll show you some of the comments we've had as well. And the comment I had was from Brenny. I've decided to name him because he said, really lazy feedback on this game. Watching people have fun with it, challenging themselves on the Amiga live stream, learning the patterns, learning to speedrun it. It's actually an enjoyable experience that way. Well, mate, they didn't have the Amiga live stream in 1988. You just had your Amiga and a game. And trust me, you probably didn't want this one. But perhaps the Amiga version's an outlier. Perhaps it's stunning. Now, you're looking at this thinking, if you didn't see that original view, this looks like Jet Set Willy, Mr. Freeze, or Technician Ted, or a really bad Monty Mole game. And yeah, that's it really. The whole character is based around a car park attendant that the coders at Tech who coded this took a dislike to. So they based a whole game around him. You know, I complain that modern games have focus groups and all these kind of different meetings and stuff to design a game, but yeah, designing a game around a car park attendant annoyed you a bit. You get a sample every time you arrive on the screen, presumably quoting or throwing quotes from the car park attendant that annoyed them. His whole point seems to be some people on a Twitch stream really enjoyed watching the game, not playing it, watching it. Which, it's a different experience really, isn't it? Watching someone try and play this, but they could be playing, well, any number of other games than this. Especially on the 8-bits, because this isn't a 16-bit game, is it? Whichever way you dice it. It looks identical, really, on the 8-bits, aside from a few more lower resolution and less colours. I did point out that the game cost £20 and had 20 screens, but he came back with the fact that in 2022 he just can download it for free. That doesn't make it any good, mate! My favourite bit, before we go on to see the competition, which we will, Brenny points out, it's more interesting taking on obscure titles no one's touched, so it's basically a brand new game. People have heard Ron Hubbard's song from their endless times. Same scenario with other Twitch people playing through shareware compilation discs because it's brand new to them. I was like you once, in my 30s, oh mate. Oh mate, if only you knew. If only you knew. That's a dim and distant memory. I don't understand what his problem is. It's almost as if Brenny has come on to try and promote some Twitch stream doing Amiga games with a big microphone in front of them. I mean, I can criticise, right? What am I doing here? At least I'm trying to critique what we're doing, put some context into what we're doing. And actually, what really annoys me here, I can be wrong on reviews. I can be wrong on reviews, but I don't think I am in the case of Chubby Gristle, because you go back to the magazines of the time, and the scores range between 20% and the 50%. And that's across all formats, right? So no one's coming out and saying this is a work of genius, this is brilliant, you must play this game. No one back in the day, and certainly looking at the comments from other viewers of that video, no one else. Some people had it and enjoyed it a bit, but I suspect they probably didn't have many other games and certainly weren't exposed to things like Jet Set Willy, Manic Miner. God, Mr. Freeze! Mr. Freeze! I mean, that's a terrible game, right? And I'd still rather play Mr. Freeze than Chubby Gristle. And breathe. Come on, the comments. Tell me I'm wrong. by all means, but do not call me lazy, and do not say I don't highlight obscure games. I spend a lot of my time highlighting games that other channels don't show, because I could just do the big games every single week. Actually, a good it'll probably kill me, but you know what I mean. Miami Cobra GT the other week, interesting game. Spectrum and Amstrad versions only. Never going to do big numbers. That doesn't matter, because I'm not doing adverts, so ultimately the figures don't matter, right? But it's an obscure budget game, highlighting it to people, say, hey, you may enjoy this for 5-10 minutes when you're going through your toss sec of ROMs, and just saying, hey, well done to the coder who got this moving at this speed, and highlighting it. Not highlighting. Chubby Gristle isn't an obscure game. Chubby Gristle is not an obscure game. It's a well-known game, and it's a well-known game for being absolutely rotten. Anyway, let's look at what the competition was. Impossible came out the following year, but I had this running on my A600s. I thought, let's have a look at this. And already, listen to the music. Sounds much more, okay, it's generic samples, but it's a million times better than that Amiga music. That's an Amiga we were listening to earlier, and it was just going blinkety blonkety, blinkety blonkety. Listen to this, fantastic. Look, have we got 5 screens? Does this game only have 5 screens? No, it has 5 massive levels. This is a full price competition. Chubby Gristle is not a budget game, it's a full price game on all of these systems. It's insulting dross. When you can go and buy this, yeah, okay, again, this is 89. It's a year later, but probably isn't a year later, it's probably like 6 months later. But look, is it flick screen? No, it scrolls because it's a 16-bit game, not an 8-bit game. So we've got 16-bit graphics, and okay, look, you could have more colours on here, it could look better on an Amiga. ST version probably looks identical, but at least it looks like a 16-bit game. But no, this isn't my cup of tea. If I was reviewing this, I would not be going completely overboard on it, because this isn't something that floats my boat particularly. But I can recognise it's a game you can actually enjoy. It's value for money. It's got more than 20 screens worth in it. It's well presented. It sounds good. It stands up today as a good example of the genre at the time. Chubby Gristle does not. I absolutely stand by my original review. Chubby Gristle is graphically lazy, sonically lazy. It's lazily designed, lazily encoded. It is absolute dross. And I'm afraid, as we saw, the Amiga version, which I didn't get around to covering last time, is no better than any of the other versions. In fact, I say it's more irritating because you get those samples every time you enter a new screen. Absolute rot, dross, rubbish.